Buongiorno, willkommen and hello to the highlights from this week's Swift Insider Tiny Race series. This week we are for all 4 races in New York, and for me or the people from Europe it's 1 hour earlier than in the weeks before due to the summer and winter time change, so 9 o'clock in the morning and not 10 o'clock. I think this is the main reason why the field is not that big than in the last weeks. So you can see 98 riders. This is not much for the Tiny Race series in time zone 1. I think the smallest field I've seen for weeks. But yeah, anyway. So the first route is La Guardia Loop reverse, 1 lap and a quite long lead-in. You can see that the lead-in is almost half of the course, and you can also already see what the power-up is for this race. It's a double drafting, 30 seconds advantage, and yes, you get 2 power-ups of them, so 1 in the beginning, and then when we hit the start-finish banner where the race will also end. And I can tell you that nothing spectacular is happening, so I will skip to the final kilometer, the Flamme Rouge. Zoop, here we are, 1000 meters to go. Some people are already starting to use their power-ups. And yes, as I mentioned, it happened nothing, no attacks, no big attacks. You can see some red in the bottom. These were some very short, you can't even call this attacks, but yes. But Pulse is already quite high, 213, 14, 15, and now the first guy is starting, and now you will see a completely mistimed sprint from myself. I'm all the time in the wind now. You can't see this, but I also have my source for Swift with a draft monitor, where I see that almost all the time I have 0% draft advantage, and that's the reason why everybody is flying from behind. In the end, I catch some dudes again, but all in all, yeah, you can see my reaction. This was not very nice. It was place 10 or no 11th place, so it's okay. It was a fast finish, slightly downhill, absolutely not mine. So yeah, top 10 would be better, but place 11 is also okay. And yes, and you see the next race already started. Race number 2. We're taking again the right turn, grab a power up at the feather, and then we are hitting straight to the New York KOM reverse, and the finish will be at the KOM banner, maybe some meters behind. And here we are, turning right now to the glass tunnels, and then the climbing starts. It's very unrhythmic, unrhythmisch, this climb. I don't really like it, and you will see that I will completely explode. And yes, I'm already standing still, but you will see in some seconds or minutes, maybe. Yeah, I can let it run, the video. Maybe I will make a cut, I don't know, because it's 1.8 kilometers, but it's quite steep, so yeah, in the beginning there's not happening that much, so yeah, I will make a shortcut. Okay, so one guy attacked from Italy, Mr. Finelli from the SST team. I stayed in the bunch, in the draft. You see now there's some flat meters, even a little bit downhill, so drafting is very important. At this moment I'm quite happy with my position, but as you can see on my heart rate over 210, 214, 15, that I'm near my limits, and yes, I'm suffering a lot, so much. my legs were burning so badly. Even if I think at this, it hurts again. But yeah. Okay, so far I'm also in a quite nice position, top 10. But you see the gap starts to open. So I tried to stay at the second small bunch. But yeah, you can see also at my head that I'm shaking my head, and at this moment I know I have no chance to win this race or even finish in the top 10 or another good position. And now there's again the last flat part of the race, and even there I can't follow the other guys even if I'm in the draft. I don't know, maybe one last try, or yes, okay, once again 5.5 watts per kilogram, and that's it, out of the saddle. But it was so frustrating that I was fighting so much and everybody was riding away from me. So this is the moment now where I give up. Not give up, but my legs didn't want it to work anymore. So I had to take some deep breathes. You see, my heart rate will go down, and okay, I have to let these guys pass. But after a few seconds I feel better again, I think, and then I take a wheel, get a little bit in the draft, and now heart rate 205, this is okay. Use my feather at the steepest part for 14%, and yes, now you can see how I'm flying back. I'm fighting back a little bit more to the front, but this will be only a position in the I don't know where I finish. 27, 26th place. And yeah, Mr. Hurtel Lockerhill from Britain is my last opponent, and yes, fight for every position. So 26th place. The winner was the guy from Italy who attacked in the beginning of the climb. Okay, third race. So 6th train, 1 lap, power up, aero boost. We are taking once again the right turn and grab the power up. And to be honest, I was thinking when I reached the KOM banner if I should start in the last 2 races, because I was racing a lot in this week, because I wanted to focus on the Z Racing series of this month, the Race Mercury series. So I raced 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times the Race Mercury stage 1. Also a hard midweek series by the Swedish Swift riders on Wednesday. So yes, I had very heavy legs, and I thought, okay, maybe this is too much for my body, and it would be better to take a break before on Tuesday the Swift Racing League starts again. Yeah, but I'm a fighter, and I said no. You can't stop after 2 or 4 races. Yes, this is why the Swift Insider Tiny Races series exists, because you want to suffer, and yes, you want this bad feeling. So I started in the last 2 races, and yeah, I will make again a cut, because in this race is also happening not that much. It's a little bit flatter again. New York is never completely flat, but it's a rolling course. So again on a aero setup. In the first, third and fourth race I raced with the aero setup, and in the second race I went for a climbing setup, because the climb you saw, it was very steep. So one chance to use the lightweight Meilensteins, which you use not that often in most of the Zwift races, so I was happy to put them out of my garage. And then we had one attack, but he couldn't get very significant away, so he won't win this race. Yes, I'm in a quite good position in the middle of the bunch. 700 meters to go. And yes, now I'm at the front. Once again, much too early. I'm in this position, on the second position. So Mr. Wabo from Norway is now my lead-out man. So I'm let some guys overtake me and try to get in the draft of them. But they are so fast. You see how far fast they get away from me. And once again, it's a slightly downhill sprint. I'm not perfectly in the draft because I'm quite far on the right side, but my end speed is quite nice, and in the end this will be a third place. I know in the video it looks like a fourth place. I wondered a little bit, but Zwift and Zwift Power said third place, so I was very happy. I absolutely didn't expect this after my explosion in the second race at the climb. So I felt much better, and yeah. But this race will be quite interesting because you see already now the fast start. I don't know if maybe some people were connected, Discord for example, and planned this, or if this happened just... Oops, sorry, I muted myself. If this happened just by the race situation and they just felt really good. Either way, you will see now a lot of mistakes in my race. Yes, I will let the video run for a few more seconds. And yes, you see that the field on the minimap starts to stretch out a very long line, like last week when they've tested the new pack dynamics. Then all of the races looked like this and felt like ITTs, individual time trials. And now you see that I've let a gap open. I have to sprint 9 watts per kilogram, sprint, close this gap. Stupid, very stupid. Cost so much energy, especially in the last race with 3 races in your legs. So yes, first big mistake. And then the field get cut in half. You see 60, maybe 65 riders in the front group from 103 riders, and now I'm once again with a mistake. I let the gap open, have to get into the red zone to come back. And yes, look at me, look at my face. I'm just a toasted, dead piece of meat. Yes, but my dad came after the second race into my pain cave, and he pushed me now and said, "Okay, come on, stay in the group." And so yeah, once again I'm in a very bad position, and this is completely my fault. When I look at the pictures now, this is so stupid and inefficient Zwift racing from myself today. But yeah, once again I managed to come back, waste once again a lot of energy, but thankfully the pace is not too high. It's still over 5 watts per kilogram, but I can manage to stay in the group, to work myself more to the front of the group. Yes, but it hurts so much if you know this climb or this route. By the way, this is a Central Park, the loop, Park Perimeter loop, but it will end at the sprint banner you see on the minimap, the green point, so not the whole route loop. And yeah, there is Michael Frater, my teammate on the right side. I think he gets dropped now. And this hurts so much. You think you've reached the top and get a break, but you have to keep pushing, 10, 12 seconds, because you're going directly into the downhill and need the draft of the group. And now I've managed to stay there. This is super tuck. And yes, by the way, Michael Frati is going to finish on position 38, so also in the upper half of the field. And now I'm going to make a cut, because on the last 3 kilometers will happen nothing more anymore. No attacks. So yes. And it's once again a very high speed finish. We come from the downhill, then there's this little bumper, and then the finish, the sprint is again downhill, like 3 or 4%, so very, very high speed, absolutely not mine. No power-ups in this race. And yes, normally here on the uphill the sprint starts, and that's also what happens in this race. You see, sprint starts, I give everything that's left in my tank. One rider in the front has a small gap. I don't know if he will be catched again. Yes, so this is the best. So in this race, this strategy was fine, so more wasn't possible with my weight. So yeah. So I'm quite happy again with this 4th place. So in the end I finished on position 11, 26, 3 and 4. This should be a solid top 10 position in the GC. Definitely not near the podium, but yes, I'm quite happy, especially after the second race, where I thought that I can't even hold the main group. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this short video again. Give a thumbs up, subscription, follow our main channel, Team Wattfabrik, for way more professional live streams and commentary and so on. Check it out, and yeah, maybe see you next Saturday or some day else. Macht's gut.